Hey everybody, Rick from Park Journey here at SeaWorld San Diego. We've been here all day checking out the Seven Seas Food Festival. Lots of tasty food. We're going to talk about our favorites. And there's just a couple other random things going on at the park. So I hope you drive. Sorry, I got a little buzz going on right now. But a really fun day here at SeaWorld. I'm starting to get a little busy. We're not going to stay too much longer. To get a ride on Emperor. Was hoping to ride Tidal Twister and it was not open again. But you can see behind me there, the Italian restaurant is getting some work done, some random things going on at the park we'll talk about. And then talk about our food. Hope you enjoy. Before I get started, make sure you click below to subscribe. Thanks.
Alright, so before we get into our food, we'll like to let you know that Journey to Atlantis is back open. We did not ride on Saturday. It was rather chilly, so we did not take a ride on Journey to Atlantis, but glad to see that it is back. It looks great. I'm sure it had a nice refurb. And also we wanted to obviously take a ride on Emperor. We hadn't actually been into this part of the area on Media Day. We just kind of went in through the side gate back here, so moving into the entry area. So, you know, hopefully, at some point they'll open up this area a little bit more, so you can actually see the ride. But you can see over here to the right, you've got a lot of tanks and stuff for Journey to Atlantis and things like that, some of the infrastructure. But I'm sure maybe at some point they can kind of move that around a little bit, kind of open up this area a little bit more so it's not just so out of the way. And obviously, as we mentioned in our Media Day update, at some point it would be nice for them to kind of, finish this area and have a more permanent queue and, permanent store and stuff like that in this particular area. So in addition to, some of the other things, they have some new merchandise that we did not see on Media Day. So here is the Emperor shirt. It looked like it was kind of like a moisture wicking. It had some kind of different fabric on it. Some coffee mugs. So they had both the individual and the travel coffee mugs. I really like this travel coffee mug. Didn't get a chance to head back over and pick it up, but we definitely will on our next visit. And then some random things going on around the park. Manta Pizza is still being built. It says opening soon. It'll be nice to have another food location in this particular area of the park. Of course, it's probably one of the most popular areas of the park. And here's a look at what it will look like when it is completed. I would assume it will be done prior to the busy summer season. And then I did want to touch on that Tidal Twister was back closed. It was open for less than 3 weeks. So I don't know what that means for the future of the attraction. I know they worked really hard to get this back up and running. Lots of new stuff. Something seems to not be working with it. So hopefully it'll come back at some point. Alright, so let's get into the Seven Seas Food Festival. So obviously that was the main reason for our visit. And our first stop of the day was at the German Flavors booth. This was the bratwurst slider, which was actually very tasty. And a couple of beers. One of them was a Belching Beaver. Another look at the slider. And then this was the pretzel bites. It was supposed to be with beer cheese. They didn't have any beer cheese when we went there. It was right after they opened, so we had it with mustard, which was still really good. We had meant to go back later in the day and check it out, but we didn't get a chance to get back over there. This is the Saint-Tropez Sunset from the Mediterranean booth. Was very, very good. This is the lamb chop. Really good again. The cheese and the sauce and the potatoes were great. As you can see here on this booth, they're a little bit more detailed to the plating, which was nice. And this lamb slider, it was one of our top fives at the event. So really tasty. I love the sauce, the tzatziki, And the lamb slider was very tender. Definitely recommended if you are going to the food festival. Next, it was over to the Asian booth. This was the bulgogi bowl. Definitely one of our favorites. All the flavors, they intertwined very well together. The meat was great. This is the chicken lo mein, also very good. Nice and seasoned right. The lo mein was delicious and cooked right. Definitely recommended. The pork gyoza, also very good. And then finally, the spiked Thai iced tea. We all really enjoyed this one. It was delicious. We weren't sure what to think about it. Definitely one of our favorite treats of the day as well. All in all, the Asian booth was very popular with us. Next, we headed over to the Tuscan flavors. This was the fried ravioli. The raviolis could have been a little warmer, but the pesto sauce was amazing. We tried to get some to go, but they didn't have little lids, but it was really good. And this was the tiramisu ice cream, also very good. Highly recommended. Over at the Caribbean booth, we had the jerked white cheddar mac, the Caribbean Sunrise, and the Tropical Hurricane. I couldn't really tell the difference between the Sunrise and the Hurricane. They're just rum drinks. One had pineapple and one didn't, but they were both very good. Over at the Polynesian booth, the only thing that really interested us here was the pork slider, which I had tried with Gabe last year. Very good. Definitely recommended. And then we went over to the SoCal booth. This was one of our most this is the booth that this is one of the booths that we were really looking forward to most. This was the lobster mac and cheese. It was kind of disappointing. They just kind of piled the lobster on top of mac and cheese, not baked it in, and it was very watery. We had to dump out all the water. The French dip was also very good. And I will say that for the lobster roll, I would have preferred if they had kind of toasted it a little bit like they did with the French dip as well. And then lastly, the Mexican flavors booth. We actually tried all of the stuff from this booth other than the shrimp cocktail. This was the portobello mushroom taco, one of our favorites, absolutely. You can get it with cheese or without, depending on if you want the vegan or not. This was the corn ribs, really good. This was I think the beef taco, again very good. And then the churro cheesecake, definitely again one of our favorite things, probably the favorite sweet thing that we had at the event. And then lastly, the carnitas tacos. In addition, I had to try the Emperor IPA from Mike Hespering. I'm not a big IPA fan, but I actually kind of enjoyed this one. Definitely really good. And then my wife got some kind of margarita. I don't remember what the margarita actually was, but she said it was very good. It was very tasty on my end as well. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed our look at the Seven Seas Food Festival. Definitely make sure you check it out. If you're a pass holder, you do get 3 extra tastings with your 15 tasting card, so I definitely recommended that. That's what we did, and we did not need any additional purchases. We did purchase our alcohol separately, so to keep that in mind, if you do use the tasting card for your alcohol, you do get a little bit of a smaller serving. So we did all of the food on the tasting card, and then the alcohol we did separately, so keep that in mind as well. Thanks again for watching. Take care.